If you follow this channel, you know that I strongly believe that we are in the end times. We are entering a new world order, a time where the world will be led to a satanic Luciferian world order. The world is moved from under the rule and worship of Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, to Satan being worshipped as God, and the world will knowingly be under and accept his doctrine and values. In this coming new world order, the whole world will be drastically different. But one thing that needs to be understood right now is the spiritual and religious aspect, because we are in the midst of the transition that is happening as we speak. Remember, I just explained that in this new world order, Satan will be worshipped as God, and the world would accept and be under his doctrine and his values. This doesn't happen because of war, economic collapse, or political turmoil. This happens through carefully engineered marketing campaigns that have promoted his doctrines and values as normal and practical. What was once good will be looked at as evil, and what was once evil will be looked at as good. The misconception is that everyone believes that this will come under a general acceptance of the religion of Satanism. People believe that when this happens, everyone will just label themselves as actual Satanists who worship the devil. But this is not true, and it's not where the true problem lies, because even some Satanists will tell you that they do not worship Satan, but that they worship themselves. And more importantly, they worship lawlessness, being able to do what you want. Aleister Crowley sums it up as, do as thou wilt. Basically, it's do what you want. But even that will not be the general belief accepted by the world. You see, Satan does not want people to just do what they want. He wants them not to do what Yahweh wants. And there is a very big difference. And Satan will not come in his name. He never does. He has come to the world through many different names. He comes under an umbrella of deception that masks who he is, as he has done throughout world history. The world will not come under a belief of Satanism, and it will not be forced into conversion of Islam. These are all misunderstandings. The main religion and belief that will be accepted by the world is actually being accepted right now by the masses, and this is what we need to discuss. It's very subtle and highly deceptive, and it's a high probability that you have been exposed to some of his doctrines, and maybe even agreed with a view or two from it. Please understand that the Antichrist, or Anti-Messiah, he cannot come about until the world is ready to accept him. Like I said, he is not waiting for the world to be converted to Satanism and or Islam. He doesn't need this. What he needs is for the world to reject the values of Yahweh and accept his values. He doesn't care whether you worship him by name. I mean, he's the author of deception. He has many names. What he wants is for you to worship him in your heart. And he introduced a new religion that has been made to make it more easier for this wicked generation to accept him. And this is called the New Age religion. The New Age religion is literally the religion of the New World Order. And it's important that it's understood. So we're going to discuss it now. Let's begin. Okay, so Ephesians chapter 5, verse 6 says, "Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things comes the wrath of Elohim upon the children of disobedience." 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 33 and 34 says, "Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. Awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of Elohim. I speak this to your shame." And you see, this is the state of the world today when it pertains to the knowledge of our Father. Let me say this as clear as possible. The New Age movement is not something inconsequential. The New Age movement will be the religion of the Antichrist and the New World Order. This is the simplest understanding to have on this subject. It is a religion that leads to worship of the Antichrist, who is the beast of Revelation, the abomination of desolation. And it leads there because it first is the religion of self, which is Satanism. It first starts with the worship of oneself and putting their self first, and because people will place their needs first, they will seek anything and anyone that will satisfy their needs that they believe need to be taken care of. I will explain that. The New Age movement does not come in the form of traditional doctrine, say Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. There is no unified beliefs or practices. They typically do not label their churches as New Age. You will not find an official leader, such as the Pope for Catholics. They do not have an actual structure of an organization. It's not what we know today as organized religion. It does not work this way. It's more about the doctrine and beliefs, more than the label. You aren't going to see the people, for the most part, speak in terms of New Age. For the most part, they won't label it like that. You see, it's not about the label, but about the way of thought. It's a way of thinking. In his book, The Kingdom of the Occult, Walter Martin says this about the New Age. In the turbulent decade of the 1970s, an explosion of occult knowledge occurred, saturating the Western world with the potent seeds of new perspective. A strange blend of 19th century spiritism, mysticism, and humanism, it took the name the New Age movement and quickly evolved into a bolder, more organized revival of ancient occultism. It was a new title with an ancient goal: the penetration of all areas of culture, political, educational, and religious, with man at the center of the universe. You see, the New Age from the beginning sought to undermine the biblical beliefs of Yasharel and destroy the revelation of Yahweh, as it was given to us in the Old and New Testament. The New Age embraces everything from astrology to tarot cards, seances, and Ouija boards. It encourages attempts to penetrate into a dimension of spiritual reality that Yahweh has forbidden. At the core of the New Age philosophy is the integration of all religions, practices, mythology, superstition, and the occult. It includes all religious practices. It does not put one religion over another. You will find embrace and mindset of religious tolerance that speaks in the notion of promoting peace with all. There's a notion going around right now that in order to stop war and to have peace, people need to accept all religions. And this mindset is all a part of this New Age philosophy. Now here's the kicker. With all that inclusion and acceptance, there is a main exclusion and something that will not be tolerated. New Age religion refuses to bow the knee and worship to Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharel, our creator. And here's the thing, it will never say this or speak like this because it is a doctrine that is only transmitted through a perception of peace and tolerance. But their mindsets are completely against him, and it's important that you understand why. Their mindsets are against him because Yahweh's way is complete opposite of tolerance. Yahweh's way is serve him the way he declares only. Do not go to the left or right of it either. And you see, New Age declares that you should do whatever makes you happy and free. So go to the left, go to the right, go up, down, doesn't matter where you go, as long as it makes you happy. The New Age movement consists of a massive network of groups that all work towards one desired goal. The main goal of the New Age movement is bringing about reign and worship of a one world leader who will control a world government. He will bring enlightenment to the masses. He will bring peace to the earth and show people how to live in peace through him. They refer to him as the Christ or Maitreya. They will accomplish this goal in many ways, but one main specific way is to bring about acceptance of all religions and beliefs, but directly blaspheme biblical beliefs found in the scriptures. This blaspheme sometimes is very direct, but a lot of times it's very subtle. So subtle that if one does not put on the full armor of Elohim, they may be swayed by this philosophy, because it does not sound religious. You see, in New Age philosophy, you can believe in Jesus Christ just as long as you don't read your Bible too much and really practice what the Bible actually says. You see, the roots of the New Age religious movement stem from Eastern religions and, of course, the occult. New Age religion comes wrapped up in a package of self-help, self-esteem, and self-reliance. This package, often marketed, presented, and sold by figures that many people aspire to be like and or achieve the same successes. Through all of this, a major idea, thought, and belief is generated in one's life. You see, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 says, I can do all things through Messiah, which strengthens me. The New Age philosophy subtly removes Messiah from our thoughts and makes us believe that we can do all things if we just believe it and it will be so. It's the power of positive thinking. It's the secret. If you remember in the mid-2000s, this book, The Secret, it was a worldwide bestseller. It was never taught as religious, but just a way of thought. It is based on the law of attraction, which claims that thought alone can influence objective circumstances within one's life. It was never taught as New Age thought, but it's completely that, and it influenced a great deal of people, and it has never stopped. Our media, education system, entertainment, and other influences other than the scriptures make these ideas, thoughts, and beliefs become a new doctrine of our lives. Many also don't realize that they're accepting a religion because it has not been presented to them in this way. It only seems as if it's a way of thinking that will bring about a certain positive outcome. We never really realize that we have replaced some core traditional value that we should have held on to. Oftentimes, this core traditional value is trust and reliance in Yahweh and not in ourselves. You see, New Age doctrine can be summed up into enlightenment, illumination, reaching a higher consciousness, and being the best you that you can be. You know what? All that sounds great and harmless to the trusting general public. I mean, why shouldn't we want to be the best version of ourselves? Why wouldn't we want to reach a higher level in our lives? Why wouldn't we want to know the best ways to become successful and live like the elite? Yes, that's just normal thought today. But what happens is that people don't actually recognize that idolatry that's mixed into this. Through this New Age doctrine of self-help, self-esteem, and self-reliance, we replace Yahweh with ourselves. We become our own gods, the thing that's most important. We place our will over everything else. It literally is a mindset that people hold that people do not recognize that they have and that they accept. A poem that Nelson Mandela used to recite really sums it up. It's the poem Invictus, and it speaks a great many things, but I'll read the ending. It says, "It matters not how the straight gate, how charged with punishments the scroll, they are the master of their fate, and they are the captain of their soul." I mean, you know how many people recite this evil poem? I mean, read the words, really. It doesn't matter how straight and narrow the gate to life is that Yahusha says that we must go through. It doesn't matter the charges that we're guilty of when we stand before Yahweh that's on the scroll. People have decided that they are the masters of their fate and they are the captains of their soul. They're in charge. You see, the New Age movement leads people to believe that they are their own gods and they are responsible for their own destinies. And by doing this, you completely reject Yahweh and his authority over your life. In New Age thought, we put the burden of success, peace, love, and happiness on ourselves, slowly but surely releasing our reliance on Yah. We are now gods, and our mission is to obtain a higher level of consciousness. You see, when you hear it, it does not sound like religion, just a way of thought. How to change your thinking in order to obtain success and have better relationships. The higher level of consciousness is often referred to as Christ consciousness. The blaspheme that the New Age promotes is that Yahusha was not the Son of God, and he was just a prophet that had a message. They claim he was able to do all of his miracles because he reached the top level of consciousness. This is what Christ consciousness is. Only the Christ, the Anointed One, who they refer to as Lord Maitreya, they believe he will return and teach us all how to get there. And you must understand this is blasphemy. The point is that this is what the self-help and New Age doctrine leads to. The Antichrist will be the Lord Maitreya because he will seem to be able to fix the world's biggest problems. Because he seems that he is able to do what nobody else has been able to do, he eventually will be worshipped, like a Superman type of figure. New Age is not just a thought that people subscribe to. It is the sum of thoughts that people subscribe to. It is a religion for the New Age, also known as the Age of Aquarius, which is prophesied but yet to come. These same general beliefs are practiced by witches, Freemasons, pagans, Satanists, Yoruba priestess, Baha'i, Christian Science, Unity churches, and many more. And it's very much in the Christian church as well. This is the stuff from Joel Osteen and T.D. Jakes. They push that stuff all day long. What unifies the New Age is the foundational belief that there are many equally valid beliefs and techniques that enlighten and liberate an individual. Not all groups use the same terminology, but they respect one another and focus upon unity in diversity. You've heard this many times before, but probably not explained like this. A proper phrase of thinking is whatever works for you. They believe in many different paths to the worship of the same God. Believers today in these Christian churches must be very careful. Christianity is not absent to the New Age. Over the years, it has embraced New Age thought. Many churches are sprouting up coming under the mask of Christianity, but are actually subtly teaching doctrines from the New Age. Like I said earlier, Joel Osteen was a great example of this back when he had major influence. Over a decade ago, Oprah Winfrey herself has been called America's pastor. She has taken the New Age movement into the world in great strides. She has promoted the New Age movement to the masses through her book club and spiritual lessons. Her program that she used to have called Life Class is completely New Age teaching from the stars. They would teach us their techniques of using their New Age principles, and we would adopt them as just being a better way of thinking. All of those teachings are New Age philosophy. This is just one of her many times where she promotes the wickedness of New Age and directly shows the blaspheming against Yahusha.
Within You by Eric Butterworth, where he talks about the Christ consciousness. And up until then, I was like you, Margit. I thought Jesus came, died on the cross, that Jesus' being here was about his death and dying on the cross, when it really was about him coming to show us how to do it, how to be, to show us the Christ consciousness that he had, and that consciousness abides with all of us. That's what I got. That's what I got. Thank you.
Understand, Satan is the architect of all New Age spirituality. He uses people, many of whom seem sincere and dedicated. They stand in direct rebellion against the authority of Yahweh and his word. They have no desire to acknowledge the true Messiah Yahusha or Yahweh's plan of salvation. So from this, they reject what they label as Christianity, and they promote the New Age movement, which instills the best understanding of a deity is to know thyself and become aware of the Christ consciousness inside of you. Whenever you hear someone refer to spirituality, if they are not speaking of the Holy Spirit, they are referring to New Age beliefs, and you must be mindful and wary of this. This thought is like a cancer that will grow in your mind, that will guide your path and take Yahweh out of the driver's seat. Beware of this. There are many different buzzwords and terminology you will hear that will let you know that what you're hearing is a part of the New Age religious movement. The New Age is the occult. It is an introduction to witchcraft that introduces a person into a mindset that leads to occult practices. If you look at your social media feed, you may be presented with people that seem like they're giving advice or helping you know how to live, but in fact they are introducing you into mindsets of the occult. They want to teach you how to think like a witch, how to gain the world through spirituality, and they introduce it to you in phases that seem harmless, but it's all the occult. They're teaching you a way of thought that taps into the spiritual realm. Here's the issue. Many people are being transitioned into the New World agenda, leading the masses to the acceptance of the Antichrist. In order for this Antichrist to come, the world must be made ready for him. And this is why these doctrines are so prevalent in our society today. It's right in front of us, but because most people don't know the truth in regards to the scriptures, it is easy to fall for what these people are saying, because it doesn't even sound like religion. You should know that there are words that people use that when you hear them, you can be more alert to what the person is trying to guide you to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of buzzwords, words that you may hear someone use. And if you hear them, I want you to be on alert and understand what the person that's using this word, what they're referring to. We'll start here with astrology. Be mindful when people speak of astrology. Astrology uses the positions of celestial bodies to understand personality, relationships, and life events, drawing on ancient traditions and esoteric beliefs. Astrology is the use of the occult. So when people are referring to your sign and looking at times and dates, they are speaking in regards to the occult. Stay away from astrology. Next, bioenergy. You may hear it referred to like that, bioenergy, or maybe they just talk about your energy. You see, bioenergy is a belief in a universal, vital energy or life force that permeates all things, including humans, and can be tapped for healing and spiritual growth. Do you know what a major movie that promotes this thought is? Star Wars. Bioenergy is what they call the Force. It's the same concept. The more you attach to these movies and these doctrines, you are attaching to occult mindsets that seem normal. They're not though. It's the occult. Star Wars is a religious film. Bioenergy is also referenced as chi or chi energy. It's all the same thing. Listen out for these words. Another word you may hear is chakras. This is seen as energy centers within the body that, when balanced, promote well-being and spiritual growth. The 7 main chakras correspond to specific locations along the spine, and they're associated with various aspects of physical, emotional, and mental health. Chakras are prominent in the occult practices of certain forms of Hinduism and Buddhism. They are seen as focal points where psychic forces and bodily functions merge and interact. They teach that the more you balance and align your chakras, the more spiritual power you will obtain. Beware of all of this. Now, auras is also New Age terminology. Auras are often understood as energy fields surrounding individuals and objects, believed to reflect their inner state and spiritual qualities, and are explored through techniques like aura reading and energy healing. Auras, chakras, and chi often go hand in hand. They are all concepts that stem from Eastern religions. When you hear someone talk about your aura around you, they are talking about the occult. Next, nirvana. Nirvana is primarily a concept within Buddhism and Hinduism, but some New Age philosophies draw inspiration from Buddhist ideas of enlightenment and liberation. They often use the term nirvana or similar concepts to describe a state of peace and transcendence. It may be presented to you like how to achieve nirvana. In Buddhism, achieving nirvana, the state of enlightenment and freedom from suffering, involves following the Eightfold Path, which focuses on right conduct, concentration, and wisdom, ultimately leading to extinction of greed, hatred, and ignorance. This is what the New World Order will be based upon and what the world is being directed towards. Next, Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness often refers to a state of universal love, compassion, and interconnectedness. It's seen as a higher state of being that anyone can achieve, not just followers of Christianity, and is often associated with the teachings and life of Jesus. Christ consciousness is often seen as a state of liberation from the limitations of the ego and identification with the material world, moving towards a higher state of awareness. Their Lord Maitreya, he will be said to have achieved Christ consciousness. Next, astral projection. Astral projection is a concept explored within esotericism and New Age spirituality. It describes an intentional out-of-body experience where consciousness is believed to travel outside of the physical body. The idea that one's consciousness can leave the physical body and travel to other realms or dimensions. They promote this stuff and make it seem like it's normal. For instance, again, like with movies Star Wars or the movie Doctor Strange, they astral projected themselves. This is occult practices that call upon demonic energy. You should never try to engage in this. Reincarnation. Reincarnation is a core tenet of New Age spirituality. It is the belief in the soul's rebirth after death. It is often viewed as part of an individual's spiritual evolution toward realizing their own divinity. They many times will apply Jesus with this concept and will tell you this is something that you can achieve as well with spiritual growth. Then there's positive thinking. This emphasizes a belief in the power of thoughts to shape reality and achieve success, often through techniques like affirmation and visualization. Do you remember when Donald Trump told everyone he was a Christian because he used to go to Norman Vincent Peale's church, the author who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking?
Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out, I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church and I love God and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale was my pastor. The Power of Positive Thinking. Everybody's heard of Norman Vincent Peale. He was so great. He would give a sermon you never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right? Even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real life situations, modern day situations, into the sermon. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And then, you know, he passed away, but he was a great, he wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a great book.
You see, to someone who doesn't clearly understand the New Age and its terminology, this might have just seemed fine. But this is just New Age teaching disguised in the mask of Christianity. This is a Mason who has come in under the guise of being a Christian pastor, but he's teaching New Age philosophy. But because they use Jesus in the teachings, people don't recognize what's actually happening to them. The danger in this teaching is not about thinking positive. It's where the source of the power comes from. I can always think positively that Yahweh has got my back and is always my source. And I always know that I can do all things through Messiah who strengthens me. But in the power of positive thinking, the power source is ourselves, not Yahweh, our creator. We tap into the power of our own minds to create a new reality for ourselves. On page 1 of Dr. Peale's Power of Positive Thinking, we see, believe in yourself, have faith in your abilities. This is the kind of thing that can really deceive many because it sounds like just good advice. Believe in yourself, believe in your abilities. But this is not what we are taught by our Creator. This is what the enemy teaches. We are not taught to believe in ourselves, but believe in Yahusha and be led by the Holy Spirit. In his book, Positive Imaging, Dr. Peale says, there is a powerful and mysterious force in human nature, a kind of mental engineering. a powerful new old idea. The concept is a form of mental activity called imaging. It consists of vividly picturing in your conscious mind a desired goal or objective, and holding that image until it sinks into your unconscious mind, where it releases great untapped energies. When the imaging concept is applied steadily and systematically, it solves problems, strengthens personalities, improves health, and greatly enhances the chances for success in any kind of endeavor. The ideas of imaging has been around for a long time, and it has been implicit in all the speaking and writing I have done in the past. And this is a Christian pastor talking this. Peel's spirituality was a blend of Christian science and mind science teachings with a dash of Christian terminology. What he is teaching is an occult teaching of visualization. Visualization is repeatedly and consistently creating a very clear mental image of an object or goal that you desire. It is taught that if you create the image with enough fervor and mental clarity, it will help the thing to occur in reality. Another big term is manifesting. People manifesting something by their thoughts and the way they think. Anybody you hear talking about manifesting this and manifesting that, they're trying to use their own will. They're pushing their own will over our Father's will. This is all New Age terminology. You see, visualization, that's more than just using imagination. It's a technique that exploits imagination and belief that it can bring about a result merely through the imagination or some power access through the imagination. They believe that they will create the result through belief that it will happen. Sometimes there are additional steps, such as writing down the goal or making a picture of it, like a vision board. It may also be called creative visualization. If someone else is leading you through this process, it is called guided visualization. Vision boards are very popular today. That's all New Age spirituality made to be about self-help, but it's much more than that. Visualization or creative visualization and guided visualization can be done for anything: to obtain a spouse, a house, a car, a promotion, better job, good health, money, many things. It is usually done for something specific. And again, they use the word manifesting often. Whenever you hear them say they're manifesting something, stay away from this. There's also this, guided imagery. This is a relaxation technique using mental imagery. It's used to influence perceptions, personal reality, and even spiritual experiences, though it's also used in mainstream settings for stress and pain management. It's a form of guided meditation when someone else, including like a phone app, is guiding you by telling you to imagine or see something. Guided imagery, like I said, it's a form of relaxation. It's like just imagining yourself in a nice place. The problem with guided imagery is that it's a form of hypnosis. You see, guided imagery or visualization is a common practice in the occult. One holds an image in their mind, and as they envision it each day and meditate on it, it becomes clearer and will come to pass. This technique is now used for healing traumas that are emotional, cancer, and other diseases. One sees the cancer or disease being fought and conquered and essentially leaving. This is a form of spiritual manipulation. What is not explained is that when we practice these things and meditate and focus upon these things, we are calling upon spirits to help us manifest this. We are taking the will of Yahweh away and attempting to force his will with our own persistent thoughts. In our visualization, we are attempting to force our Father's will because of our own desires, and what happens is we are not calling upon his power, but of spirits and demons who have a false deceptive power. This is New Age teaching. It is not about the will of our Creator, but about our will and using spiritual power conjured up in many ways to bring about certain results. Understand, there are many more that you may come across. Again, it's promoted in a form of self-help that's all about bringing about the world that you desire, and as you follow it, it literally says you reject Yahweh as your God and your Creator, and you desire to govern yourself. When we pray to Yahweh, we are to pray for his will to be done. But when we practice these techniques, it becomes about us having the power to control our own world. And so we don't have to worry about our Father's will by practicing these techniques. We are trying to force our own will over his. And it's stating that we are in complete rebellion against our Father. It's very difficult to go over and teach you everything that's included in the New Age movement. It's very subtle, and if you do not know the word of Yahweh, you can easily get swayed by it. It's not marketed to us as dark, evil thinking and practices. It's taught to us as a way of illumination. Even that word is dangerous because this is what Lucifer is. He is the light bearer trying to bring light into the world, and that's what enlightenment is. There is a lot more teaching that should accompany this because there are so many beliefs and practices lumped into this New Age philosophy. That's why it's important to know the truth and to stand on it, so you do not fall for the lies that only sound like the truth. If you don't really know the Bible and the Bible actually says, when people say these things and they use certain biblical terms, you can think that they're talking about the same faith because you're not grounded in the truth. If you're grounded in the truth, when you hear them bringing these things up, you'll know, get away from me with this. You're evil and you're more likely a witch. Get away from me. Matter of fact, don't touch me, walk that way. But you have to be able to understand these things, and you have to understand the truth first. The point that I want to be understood is that the worship of the Antichrist, it's already here. The majority of this world identifies with these teachings along with the teachings of the other faiths. The spiritual aspect of the New World Order is already upon us. More people identify with these teachings more than they do with the true biblical teaching from the Bible. How many times do you drive your car and you see bumper stickers promoting the Antichrist? They don't actually say Antichrist, but they say tolerance with all the different symbols of the different world religions. When you say you're looking for world peace, you're saying you're looking for the Antichrist, because this is what he promises and this is what he will bring before he requires the whole world to get down or lay down, meaning take his mark and worship him or be done away with. Tolerance of all religions and world peace will only bring about rule of the Antichrist for a short period of time. There is no stopping it, so don't try. The only thing that you can do is try to wake up whoever will listen and bring them back to the will of our Creator. New Age religion, consisting of many different beliefs and practices, is the religion of the coming Antichrist, and if you identify with their philosophies, you must break away from it and repent. This again is deception, and I fear that a large majority of us have already fallen for some of it over our time in this current generation. It's time that you make sure that you make our Father the priority. Don't serve your own self, but serve Yahweh. Do not put anything above him. Make him your priority and make your life aligned to his will and his kingdom. Do not attach yourself to this wickedness. Understand where it is, understand where it's coming from, and remove yourself from it. Guard yourself from it, guard your family from it. Do not let these thoughts come into your home. Reject them at all times. If you hear anyone bringing it up, remove yourself from it. Correct them, and if they don't want to be corrected, remove yourself from them, because they are leading you to the Antichrist. If your pastors, if your churches are talking about these things very subtly, leave that church. This is not anything that you need to be playing around with. It's very subtle. Nobody's just coming out and telling you that they're doing the New Age, but their way of thought, the way they're talking about, if they're not talking about our Father's will, if they're not talking about putting our Father's will first, they are talking about your own will, or they're talking about the will of this system and the will of the devil. If they're not putting our Father's will first, you must remove yourself from them. And the only way you'll know the will of our Father is if you read his word. So go back to the scriptures, understand what Yah has said on all things, understand what he desires for us, and put him as your priority, and remove yourself in the doctrines and traditions of men, because all of this is leading everyone to hell. And the reason I'm bringing this up to you is so that you do not follow them. Listen, it's time that you make our Father the priority and stay away from these doctrines of men. Do not manifest your life. Do not try to create your own life. Focus on our Father and his will. Remember, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Make that your priority. Pray this to him and keep him as the priority, and reject the religion of the New Age. Be blessed. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Okay, thanks again for watching. If this has blessed you, please don't forget to like this and share this video with others. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Yah willing, I upload every Friday. Also, please don't forget to follow this ministry on Facebook and Instagram, as well as on my website, truthunedited.com. As always, I would like to thank all those who support this ministry. Thank you for being a blessing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for following Yah's call on your heart. Be blessed. Okay, thanks again for watching, everyone. I love you all.